Shade House.
Move on in, please. Everybody.
Everybody, go in.
That picture there freaks me out, your son.
You know about the Pennsylvania Dutch?
What's that?
You know about the Pennsylvania Dutch?
Oh, yeah.
They have a phrase for this. You mean like this? Push each other in the rear.
That sounds like someone there.
I don't.
Well, Jenny did not live in this house. This side of the house was rented to Georgia, her sister. Georgia was married to a Union soldier, Lewis McClellan. He was not here in Gettysburg at the time of the battle. He actually was a prisoner down in Virginia at the time. Now, Georgia's expecting their first child any time. Getting very close. Mrs. Wade is here to be with her daughter. And now, actually, this house is a duplex. This is the north side of the house. And this, beyond this wall, there is the south side of the house. Pretty much the same style of rooms and everything. We have a kitchen. We have a living room or parlor. And then upstairs there are 2 bedrooms. And then a cellar at each side of the house also. So I invite you to come into the parlor.
What is that? Yeah. I want to get married, yo. Oh yeah. I'm gonna get proposed to. Look at that. It's always the 12.
Come on in. Get a little further in here.
That's sure.
The picture above the mantelpiece is the only picture we have of Mary Virginia Wade. She was about 18 years old in that picture, and she died at the age of 20. Now, the furnishings you're going to see around through the house is all the period of time in the middle 1800s. Only 2 pieces of furniture in the house actually belong to the families that lived here in the house. Now, of course, having the bed down living room, a little unusual, but for Georgia's condition and her convenience, that's why the bed was brought downstairs for her. And she is confined to the bed because the time is getting close. And on June the 26th, 5 days before the battle here in Gettysburg, she had her baby. She had a little boy by the name of Lewis Kenneth McClellan. Later that afternoon, or towards the evening of that June the 26th, the first Confederates showed up here in Gettysburg. There was a group of Confederate cavalry that came driving into the center of town, brandishing their swords, firing their muskets, giving their rebel yell, and, of course, trying to upset the people of Gettysburg as much as possible, which worked very well. Later that night, after taking supplies, anything they wanted to, the soldiers went on out of the town. Of course, 5 days later, the battle began up on Seminary Ridge, and all day long, the fighting continues back and forth. Jenny is up there in the family home, taking care of the business and everything. However, because of the bullets flying through the air and the shells flying over the town, she's getting a little frightened, a little scared. So she decides she wants to be up here with her family, with her mother and sister. So she's walking up the street. She's carrying a little boy, Isaac. Isaac is 6 years old. He's a crippled child, cannot walk. The family takes care of him pretty much because his mother works in another town. She's also leading a little boy, Harry, her 8-year-old brother. And so she comes up here to see what the family right away wants to know what the family needs, what she can do. So fixing food is very important, doing some cooking. So she begins to cook meals for them. Of course, this kind of requires her to go outside and keep bringing wood in to keep the wood box full, and also keeping water brought in here from the well. So this is what she is doing at that point. A little bit later that afternoon, she begins to hear a commotion out on the street. Looking out the windows, they see Union soldiers running up the street fast as they can go. Bullets flying through the air because the Confederate soldiers are chasing them. But the Confederate soldiers pretty much stop in the old part of the town. putting their soldiers in the houses and telling the families, go to the cellar because that's your safest place. So that's what most of the people in Gettysburg did. Soldiers continue to come running past here, going up on top of the hill, up on Cemetery Ridge. But there's a lot of wounded soldiers laying all around this house. Even some soldiers still shooting up at the Confederates. There's a tapping on the door late that evening. Soldiers want to know, do you have water? Do you have a well at this house? We're thirsty, we haven't had water. So Jenny begins to carry buckets and pitchers of water through the house, handing it out to the soldiers. As the door opens and closes a couple times, they get the smell of food they haven't eaten, especially the smell of the bread she's been baking. So now they want to know if he'd share bread with us. So she hands loaves of bread out to the soldiers.